It was supposed to be a story of power, fame, and family. But behind the music, behind the mansions, something far darker was happening. For years, Sean Diddy Combs built an empire the world admired. Yet his own children lived in quiet fear. Tonight, disturbing new evidence and insider testimonies reveal what really happened inside Diddy's world, from secret parties to silent pleas for freedom. His sons, once seen as heirs to hip-hop royalty, are now entangled in the same scandals that could destroy everything he built. This isn't just another celebrity downfall. It's the collapse of a dynasty, a family ruled by fear, money, and silence. And for the first time, the truth is breaking. When I first started investigating Sean Diddy Combs, I thought I knew what I was walking into, a story about fame, power, and the dangerous price of celebrity. But the deeper I went, the more I realized this wasn't just a story about music or money. It was about fear, a kind of fear that lived behind the gates of his mansion, where even love came with conditions. People used to call Diddy a mogul, a visionary, but what no one saw was the quiet war inside his own home, a family trapped under his shadow. His children, always smiling for the cameras, rehearsed every gesture like it was part of a script. And maybe it was. Because behind those public appearances, whispers told a different story, one of control, manipulation, and an empire built on silence. I remember one insider's words clearly. They don't talk about him. They talk around him. That line still echoes in my head. As allegations of sexual assault and exploitation began to surface, Diddy's carefully crafted image started to crack. Lawsuits piled up, and what shocked everyone was how his sons' names began to appear in those same documents. Lawsuits described their presence at the infamous Freakoff parties, nights that the industry once laughed off as wild celebrity fun, but were now revealed as orchestrated nightmares. Victims described being drugged, coerced, and humiliated. Not random chaos, but systematic abuse. And yet, even as the evidence grew, Diddy's children stood by him. In public, on stage, in court. They begged the world to believe he had changed. During sentencing, I watched them plead with trembling voices. One of his sons said, "My father has made mistakes, but he's a good man inside. Please, don't take him away from us." But in their eyes, I didn't see forgiveness. I saw exhaustion, fear. The kind of fear that comes from knowing you can't escape someone who controls your life. Your money, your name. Behind the scenes, sources told me Diddy still ran everything, even from behind bars. Over 200 calls a day. Calls to lawyers, to family, to former associates, and yes, to some of the victims. "Make this right," he would reportedly say. "You know what we built together." But everyone knew those words didn't mean reconciliation. They meant silence. Even in prison, Diddy found a way to keep his world spinning. But that control came at a cost. Reports leaked that he'd been attacked multiple times inside the low-security facility. Inmates recognized him instantly. Some saw a legend, others saw a target. He was no longer the man with the private jets and designer suits. He was inmate number 0469, sleeping with one eye open, his empire crumbling on the outside. And yet, he still had power. His children visited him, tears hidden behind designer glasses, telling guards, "He's changing. He's trying to be better." But deep down, everyone wondered, were they speaking from love or from fear of losing the only life they'd ever known? I spoke to someone close to the family. They told me something chilling. They can't leave. Every dollar they have comes from him. Their homes, their cars, even their brands. He owns it all. That was the trap. Not just emotional manipulation, financial imprisonment. Diddy didn't just build an empire, he built a cage. And his family was locked inside. But maybe the most disturbing part wasn't what happened at the parties or in court. It was what happened after the cameras turned off. One former bodyguard recalled nights when Diddy's sons argued about whether to speak out. One of them reportedly shouted, "You don't get it! He'll destroy us!" The other went silent, staring into nothing. That silence told me more than any court document ever could. Behind the glitz, there was guilt. Behind the loyalty, there was fear. And behind every public smile, there was a private scream. When the industry started distancing itself, sponsors cutting ties, artists deleting old photos, Diddy's empire began to collapse in slow motion. But even then, his reach was everywhere. Calls were made. Promises whispered. "He knows things about people," one producer told me. "That's why no one talks." It's a pattern I've seen before in power circles. Control built not on love, but leverage. Diddy wasn't just protecting his name. He was protecting a system that had protected him for decades. And his children? They became both victims and shields. Then came the twist no one expected. An anonymous leak, a series of encrypted messages shared with investigators, allegedly came from inside his own family. Messages describing proof, hidden recordings, and a deal that could end everything. It was never confirmed who sent them, but people close to the investigation believe one of Diddy's own children might have cooperated. If that's true, it changes everything. It means the same family that once begged for his freedom could now be helping to bring down his empire. A poetic kind of justice, born from pain, silence, and survival. But even now, as Diddy sits behind bars, his shadow stretches across the industry. Artists still whisper about the nights they wish they could forget. His lawyers continue to fight, his PR team scrambles to rebuild the myth, and his children, they remain trapped between loyalty and liberation. And that's where this story leaves us, for now. Because when you strip away the fame, the money, and the empire, what remains is a haunting question no courtroom can answer. Were they defending a father or escaping a master? One thing's for sure, this isn't over. More evidence is surfacing, more voices are finding the courage to speak, and the walls around Diddy's legacy are starting to crack. The truth is coming, and it's louder than the music ever was.